Welcome, everyone, to the seventh annual State of the Trail meeting. I'm Dr. Jackson Bartlett, Executive Director of Friends of the Lower Appomattox River, also known as FOLAR. State of the Trail is hosted by FOLAR, and it's a yearly opportunity to gather partners from across the region and the state, as well as residents of the greater Richmond region, the Tri-Cities, and the general public. Each year, we give an overview of the Appomattox River Trail project and share critical updates regarding planning, construction, environmental stewardship along the river. I'd like to take a minute to thank everyone in attendance today. We have many key partners participating in the webinar session, while others are viewing the session via live stream on YouTube. Special thanks to our elected officials in attendance today, officials from our localities, VDOT, area economic development agencies, and our nonprofit partners. We'd also like to thank PlanRVA for hosting the webinar and the live stream, and Crater Planning District Commission. Next slide, please. Okay. We'd also like to take a minute to thank FOLAR sponsors and those who've helped to fund this regional effort. So this includes the Cameron Foundation, the John Randolph Foundation, Virginia Environmental Endowment, and Virginia Department of Forestry, Virginia American Water, Advanced Six, and Dominion Energy. We'd also like to thank the Appomattox River Soil and Water Conservation District, Smurfett Westrock, and Owen Printing. And now I'm going to hand it to Dr. Christian Volk, Chair of the FOLAR Board of Directors, to welcome you all to State of the Trail. Next slide.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I am Christian Volk, Chairman of the FOLAR Board of Directors. Thank you for joining us for the 2026 State of the Trail. It's really wonderful to see so many people who care about the Appomattox River and the trail we are building together. Your support keeps this work moving. The FOLAR staff, partners, and volunteers have done incredible work. As you know, creating healthy and sustainable communities takes all of us. When we work together, we do more than build trails. We protect waterways, we improve access to nature, and we create places that people will enjoy for generations. Today, we will hear updates on our progress and our plans. Thank you again for being here, and special welcome to everyone joining us on YouTube. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Executive Director, Dr. Jackson Bartlett. Thanks.
Thank you, Christian. Next slide, please. So we're going to start with a bit of an introduction and or refresher, depending on who you are, on FOLAR and the Appomattox River Trail more generally, and then we'll dive into details and updates for the year. So to start with, FOLAR, we have an excellent staff that I'm going to introduce in a minute, but we're governed by an excellent board of directors. The organization was first incorporated in 2001 out of the Crater Planning District Commission and a shared vision for a trail along the river. Our board consists of appointed and at-large members from all 6 localities along the river, including Dinwiddie, Chesterfield, Petersburg, Colonial Heights, Prince George, and Hopewell. This is one of the things that I think makes our board really special. We have that representation from all 6 localities, also from Virginia State University, Crater PDC, and area businesses. We have a really active board, so you will see them out at our events, and we're very grateful for their leadership. Okay. I don't typically like talking about myself, but many of you haven't met me yet, so I'll just do a quick introduction. I'm FOLAR's relatively new executive director. I started in August. My background's in urban studies and planning and urban sociology. I've worked with communities across the country on quality of life issues, leading grant-funded research in Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, and working with teams at Northwestern and Harvard universities and the Bloomington Urban Forestry Research Group at Indiana University. I came to FOLAR to roll up my sleeves and make a difference in my community. I'm a Petersburg resident, so I live close to the river. And I just would like to take a minute to thank everyone in the region for the warm welcome, and I look forward to all that we'll be able to achieve together. Next slide, please. And if I missed a next slide, please, we are on the staff slide right now. So I'd also like to introduce our incredible staff. They make it all happen. First, we have Regional Trails Program Director Heather Barrar, who works with us through PlanRVA and manages government relations planning and all things Appomattox River Trail. She also works, it's Regional Trails Program Director, right? So the other trail projects in the region and connecting the Appomattox River Trail up to those projects. Then we have Elise Neuschler, who leads programs as our environmental stewardship coordinator, and Emily Galbraith, who manages our communications and development. We also have Luann Clark, who really holds it all together as our finance operations specialist. Next slide, please. Okay. So I'll share a little bit about who FOLAR is. Um, our focus is really on conservation and recreation together, twinned. So FOLAR is the only organization whose mission is to conserve and protect the Appomattox River for all to enjoy. Our work's divided into two main efforts. The first is the conservation and restoration of the riparian buffer or the forest buffer from the Brassfield Dam in the west to the river's confluence with the James in the east. So when we talk about the lower Appomattox, that's what we're talking about. The second piece of work that we do is we pull together stakeholders across the region and the state to develop the 25-mile-long Blueway Greenway called the Appomattox River Trail. The ART consists of a continuous bike and pedestrian trail in the master plan, natural surface trails, 16 parks, and multiple river access points along the corridor. And for us, these things go together, the recreation and the conservation piece. A healthy river means a healthy community, a great place to live, work, and play for residents and visitors alike. So a little more about the Appomattox Trail itself. The Appomattox River Trail and the parks along it make the natural beauty of the Appomattox more accessible for people in our region and for visitors to our region. It creates opportunities for residents and visitors to engage with the natural world in ways that are proven to be healing and restorative. So when we talk about health and wellness in our communities, this is a big part of that. In addition to all the fun that people can have on the trail and the river. It also creates opportunities for people to get out and get moving, and it connects our communities. So it allows people to move safely between all 6 communities along the river corridor. It is everyone's trail. So we say, this isn't FOLAR's trail, it's all of ours. FOLAR convenes regional stakeholders and provides technical assistance and know-how to get it done. We also serve as a major tourism function in the region, marketing the trail and managing the brand and that master plan. So we kind of try to stitch everyone together to get this regional project done. It's not a Petersburg trail, it's not a Chesterfield trail. It's going through all of these communities, and we provide some of that coherence and pull folks together. So it's a community asset. It requires shared ownership and collective effort to promote it, to maintain it, and to get it done. The Appomattox River Trail brings a lot of value to our communities. So I already mentioned the health and wellness connection. Our conservation and recreation work brings people together to restore our relationship with the natural world. For many years, the river was kind of the backyard of some of our communities, and we're turning it into more of a front yard and a place for people to go. Economic development is another huge piece, right? It's a major asset in our region as you recruit talent and businesses. It's one of the first things people mention when they're trying to recruit folks to the Tri-Cities area in particular. And it's also part of a broader statewide project in Virginia to connect communities and provide access to recreation, green spaces, and active transportation. So it's a major part of what makes the Tri-Cities a great place to live, work, and play. And then, of course, we have tourism, right? So the lower Appomattox corridor is really a gem among Virginia's scenic rivers and tourist attractions. We love all the rivers in Virginia, but the Appomattox, of course, has a special place in our hearts, and I really believe it's one of the most beautiful rivers in the nation. And so with this network of trails, and it has rushing rapids, it has calm tidal estuaries, there are historic canals along the trail. It crosses two different sort of ecological zones, right, with the Piedmont and the tidal. And so it really has something for everybody. Okay. So now that we've gotten through some introductions, a refresher on who we are and why we're all here today, we can get started with our focus on the trail. So the first thing that we're going to do is we'll ground ourselves in a shared vision of the Appomattox River Trail through 2030 with a quick reflection exercise together for those in the webinar. But for those on YouTube, I encourage you to participate as well. Then after that, Heather Barrar will give detailed updates about everything that's going on along the trail. And then we'll talk about how we're bringing people to the trail and connecting our communities through our stewardship programs. And then we'll kind of cool down by returning to that 2030 vision and a call to action for supporting and finishing the Appomattox River Trail. Some things to note after the event, we'll post this recording on our website and on FOLAR's YouTube page. So you'll be able to return to it, access it, share it with your friends and colleagues. And we'll also send out some follow-up materials via email to our partners on the call. Okay. Next slide, please. And this should be slide 13, reflection. I'm sorry, I think I missed a couple next slide, pleases. Thank you, Sid. Special thank you to Sid from PlanRVA for operating our technology here today. Okay. So we're going to do something for the folks in the webinar, we're going to do something called a chat waterfall. First, we're going to do a quiet individual reflection, some listening, and then when prompted, you'll enter some words and phrases in the chat. You'll hold on sending it until everyone is instructed to click send all at once. So for this first step, please just close your eyes and picture what's being described. Okay. So it's 2030. You're in downtown Petersburg. You're shopping for antiques, maybe getting a coffee. You stop into the visitor center at Southside Depot and maybe step out onto the back deck of the visitor center with a full view of the river and the railroad tracks. You see the MLK Bridge on the right. People are walking down the trail. There's families with strollers, people on bikes, people walking their dogs. With the MLK Bridge on the right, the trail crosses into Colonial Heights and goes east up through South Park and eventually Prince George County to Hopewell and City Point. If you wanted to, you could bike to Target or Walmart in about 10 minutes. Or Hot Pot 57, it's one of my favorite places. You decide to go the other direction, though. You go east or west, I'm sorry, and walk for about 3/4 of a mile to Patton Park. There's a pedestrian bridge crossing the river with views of old Civil War era structures, the state's oldest public HBCU, and the rushing rapids of the Appomattox. That bridge takes you to the Fall Line Trail to Richmond and to our local Amtrak station. Across University Boulevard, still on the south side of the river, the trail continues to the Battersea Arches. In just a few steps, you're in the wilderness, observing the flora and fauna of the Appomattox. Maybe you see, depending on the time of year, some Virginia bluebells, pawpaw, winterberry, or eastern red columbine. There's birds of prey, river otters, snakes, and deer. And if you take your focus to the water, maybe there's some shad, herring, eel, or even sturgeon. These are places that maybe you've driven by a dozen or even hundreds of times on your way to work or to the store, and they're now accessible by foot. People from all across Virginia are passing through because they've heard about the beauty of the Appomattox River. Okay, so I want you to think about what feelings are coming up for you or thoughts as you picture this scene. What does that feel like in your body? What does it make you think of? And so I'd like to ask that you begin to type these in the chat. Don't send them yet, but just start typing words and phrases into the box about how you're feeling when you picture this scene, this sort of urban loop that's happening in Petersburg, Colonial Heights, and Ettrick. So I'm going to give everyone a minute to type. Do not send yet. Okay. Now, everyone, please hit send into the chat. Oh, good, it worked. All right. I've already seen the words serene and serenity multiple times in the chat. Joyful, connected, grounded, peace, happy, optimistic, encouraged, calm, opportunity, adventure. I like that one. Okay. It feels like community and wellness, freedom of movement. Yeah. You're not necessarily chained to your car in that scenario, right? Hopeful. And we have some folks from the live stream, community, renewed, hopeful. All right. Thank you for taking a moment to be vulnerable and go through that exercise with me. I started us off this way because I don't ever want us to lose sight of where we're going with this work. It's really easy, especially for us staff, to get mired in the details and all the obstacles and all the day-to-day things that we need to do to get it done. But this is where we're going, right? This is why we're doing the work. Um, I started with this scene in particular. I could have picked the Riverwalk. I could have picked Radcliffe or the West Side, but I started with this scene because everything I just described is fully funded. It's scheduled and it's ready to go. So this isn't just a faraway goal or some ideal state, right? This is happening. There are other things that are funded. There are other things that are happening as well. But this urban loop where you're going to be able to cross into Colonial Heights, cross into Petersburg, you're going to be able to see these historic resources, visit downtown, get into the wilderness, all within walking distance. This is all coming, right? And some pieces of it are already in place, like University Boulevard Trailhead and Pocahontas Island. Um, so thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hand it over to Heather Barrar, our Regional Trails Program Director, and she's going to give us what you've all been waiting for, our annual updates and discussion of the Appomattox River Trail. Next slide, please, and then Heather can take it over.
Good morning. Thank you, Jackson. That was really fun. That was really fun to imagine together that future that is coming, and loved having everyone's thoughts of peace and community and mindfulness, and that's absolutely what we're creating. So that was a really fun exercise. For those of you new to the project or to the area, just a little bit more background on what we're talking about, and then we'll get into what's really happening right now. So this map depicts our 25-mile stretch of the Appomattox River that FOLAR focuses on. This is a Blueway Greenway project. And what we mean by that is the Blueway, we want you to be able to paddle, to fish, to get out on the water. In Greenway, we want you to visit parks, to be able to walk, bike, push a stroller, use a wheelchair, right? So getting out on this river corridor, however you feel comfortable and however you want to use it, is what we are developing in this system. As Jackson mentioned, it's a really unique ecoregion. We have the fall line, so we have rocky rapids above Petersburg. We have calm flat water below Petersburg. So any way you want to use the river, you can in this section. We're also lucky that we are a state designated scenic river, something that was started in the 70s, that our founders continued into the 2000s. And that's just a special designation saying that we do have unique features, we have beauty, we have history. So we're recognized by the state that we are a special river in the state. Next slide. And then FOLAR works closely with our 3 counties and our 3 cities that sit along the river. Those are the counties of Dinwiddie, Chesterfield, Prince George, and the cities of Petersburg, Colonial Heights, and Hopewell. So we work in partnership, as Jackson said, to make this happen. And it's also a really unique from the community standpoint. You can be in a rural setting, you can be in an urban setting or suburban and anything in between. Those 25 miles offer all those different community types along the journey. So the next slide, talks about the history. So we've talked a lot about how beautiful this is, how we have birds and fish. And I mean, you can see a bald eagle in Petersburg. I mean, it really is amazing. But we also don't want to forget the history. The entire reason that we are living and working in this region is because of the river. The river is what brought people to the region, why we settled in this region. And so we also have that to offer. And to protect and to steward. It's such an important part of our work is really protecting the historic assets. I do want to pause and mention these symbols that you're seeing are from our sign system. So the Appomattox River Trail sign system is unique. We have these community symbols that we develop with the community as we develop a new part of the trail. So as you're on the trail, you will know you're on the Appomattox River Trail, but these symbols will change and let you know where you are in a unique place as you move through it. And so we work closely with the community members to develop these symbols. You'll see them right now, signs up right now in the Tri-Cities, and more signs will keep on coming with new symbols as we keep on developing new projects. Next slide that's a great segue for our master plan. So just so everyone knows and is grounded, we do have this regional master plan for the Appomattox River Trail itself and for the sign system. FOLAR led that effort on behalf of the region in 2017, and we led that with funding from the Cameron Foundation. And what the master plan does is lays the general route of the trail through all 6 localities. It lays out standards of what the trail should look and feel like. It lays out a sign package, the font, the colors, the specs of how to build an actual sign. And so this allows any locality or any partner to look at these plans and use them in their own way. These plans are on the website, and Emily's going to drop a link in the chat for you to see those master plans. We also have a paper copy at the office if you want to come by and check those out. And then the other important thing to mention is this plan is adopted by all of our localities and partners, and it's incorporated into their planning process. And for those of you not in the planning world, the reason why that's important is that shows funders and grantors that we are all together with this vision and this mission. Having these plans adopted really is what helps us get funding, grant funding or foundation funding, and having all of us use the same language and the same vision really has a strong message that we are together as a region to build this trail. So the next slide just shows a little more detail from that master plan. It's broken up into 13 segments. So each segment is unique. Each segment, kind of talks about the details of what we need to do to make that segment happen. And that really is how we track progress, that we have been coming every year to State of the Trail and sharing that joint progress with everybody. So the next slide really shows you, if you want to get out on the trail now, how and where you can do that. So this map is on our website. You can also use it on your phone, geolocated, so you can hit a button and see exactly where you are on the trail. You can click on a park, get more park details. Does this park have a restroom? Does it have a playground? And it also has a link back to the county or city's website to get more information on that park. It's a great resource. We actually did this with a volunteer We're really proud of this resource and hope it helps you see the river in a regional way and helps you get out on the river. It also gives you information like rapids if you want to go paddling. And then also on the website, more information like tide charts and other information that would help you paddle is on the website. Now, if you want a paper version of this map, we have it as a brochure. And you're welcome to come by the office, or if you want to pass them out at your business or at your facility, please call us, and we are happy to have these maps out in the public. They're at visitor centers and our Parks and Rec departments, and we produce this map in partnership with the Crater Planning District Commission, and we really think it's a great regional resource that brings all the individual local information together into one place on how to use the river. So I think we will transition now to a little background, what the Appomattox River Trail is, where it's going to be, and let's get into some details and really dig in to what has been happening in this last year. So when we think about the 25-mile trail system, we can really think of it in three parts: the center, that middle section, the core that Jackson described, and then we also have the west and we have the east. I will describe each of those in a little more detail. So let's get into the core or the center, the next slide. And that's what Jackson really described. That central region is really our most dense region, has the most population, the most services, and a lot of fully funded projects that will be coming online soon. You'll be able to leave Petersburg at Patton Park, walk across the river on a new bridge, go to Chesterfield County, Virginia State University, and Colonial Heights, and come back around again. So it's really amazing. They're all in design phase right now. This work takes a long time. You get the funding, takes a couple of years, you do design work, and then you start doing some groundbreaking. So it does take quite a long time to see it come, but it is coming. One of the projects that I want to talk about is a partner project called the Fall Line. We'll go to the next slide for that. We were hoping one of our VDOT partners could join us today, but he is triple booked and I don't see him on. So I'll go ahead and just tell you a little bit about the Fall Line, but it is a VDOT project. It's a 43-mile planned trail that will be connecting Petersburg to Ashland and everything in between, including the Virginia Capitol Trail. So we'll be able to leave Petersburg and then get on the Capitol Trail and go farther east as well. This trail has a couple sections open in Hanover and Henrico County, so we encourage you to go check those out. But what's exciting is a 10-mile stretch of this trail is being built right now by VDOT. The 10-mile stretch from Petersburg to Chester is under design. They have about 60% plans done, and they are developing the bridge plan right now for the new bridge that will cross the Appomattox River right there near Virginia State University. And they hope to have a groundbreaking in September or October. So we will make sure everybody knows when that groundbreaking happens. And we will all be there celebrating this great trail coming into the region. And we're just really, really excited to see this trail network and the whole region develop. So next slide, we will head west to Dinwiddie and Chesterfield County. And if you haven't been out in this section, it really is gorgeous. It's rocky, there's rapids. Like Jackson said, it feels really wild. In the past couple of years, we've been really focused on acquiring property, the first step in public access. And so we have been successful in acquiring all the property or agreements needed to head all the way west to Ferndale Park and Dinwiddie. And so last year, we really spent the year studying our historic asset. The navigation canal in Ferndale Park is from the late 1700s. I mean, it's really historic. And we want to make sure that we're good stewards of that historic resource. So we spent the year studying engineering studies, historic studies, making sure we understand how it's functioning today and how we can keep it functioning for hundreds of more years. So now we have plans on knowing how to take care of it and how to make it a better recreational access for the public. So we'll continue to work with localities on sharing these plans and studies and start making improvements to Ferndale Park and the canal system. So let's head east all the way to our Flatwater section. That's Chesterfield County, Prince George County, and Hopewell. We have a lot of great projects happening in this side of the trail also. Our friends at Weston Manor received funding to fix and reopen their fishing pier. This is a pier that's open to the public all the time, and we're really happy for them that there's new funding. Again, hopefully another groundbreaking and another ribbon cutting this year for them. The Hopewell Riverwalk is also has received funding, and they plan to work on that project this year, where the Riverwalk will connect all the way to the Hopewell City Marina. So an exciting projects happening in Hopewell. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the Appomattox River Regional Park, which we've been talking about on State of the Trail, that we have funding to improve the parking lot, to do native education planting gardens, to do reforestation, and that should be breaking ground really in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for, the parking lot is going to close for a couple months. The park is still going to be open, so we want you to still visit the rest of the park, but just know you'll see some construction. And then you'll also see this new mindful loop. If you see this purple sign on the slide, the Crater Health District has given us funding to create this new mindful walk, and we designed it in partnership with the Lamb Center for the Arts. And it's a new way to get out in nature and really put your phones away and really connect with nature, and some tips on how to do that. So that should be going in the next month. So we encourage you to get out and check that out while the construction is happening. I do want to turn it over for a minute, though, to Yodi Jaubery. He is the Prince George Economic Development Director, and Yodi is going to give us a little more information on the Appomattox River Regional Park and why he thinks the project is important. So Yodi?
Yes, thank you, Heather. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for letting me present on this. I first want to thank FOLAR for all their work on this, really great work that they have done in partnership with us. Wendy and Heather, great job. Back in 2024, Heather approached me and Keith Rotzel, our Parks and Rec Director, about this opportunity and to improve our park at the Appomattox River Regional Park, which offers around 65 acres of just 3 miles of trails, fishing pier, bird watching, picnic pavilions, canoe and kayaking launches, fitness trail. It's a hidden gem right north of Fort Lee. If you've never been, you should definitely go check it out. Heather touched upon the improvements that we'll be making there. One of the biggest ones I want to point out is the improved ADA accessibility there at the park. Will be a great addition for our community. And wanted to thank our Board of Supervisors for the support to dedicate some funding to complete this project as well. Like Heather and Jackson touched upon, this improves the quality of life of our citizens, businesses, and our visitors. In the economic development world, we continue to see the question of what kind of quality of life do you offer for your community, because businesses are looking for that more often than none. So it's a huge advantage to our region to have the likes of FOLAR to help with those community improvements along the trail and at our parks. And like Heather said, construction is soon to be started, I think in the matter of a few weeks. So just wanted to hint on April 11th, we plan to have the groundbreaking ceremony at 8:30, right before our Appomattox River 5K trail run that's sponsored by our Parks and Rec Department, Riverside Regional Jail, FOLAR, and our Tri-Cities Roadrunners. If you've never been, check it out. We get a lot of folks from outside of the area, military personnel as well. that attend. It's a true trail run. It's very unique in our region. Um, I used to be an athlete, and I've done it once, and I'm telling you, it's really challenging. So please check it out. But thank you again, FOLAR, for all that you do, and we look forward to this partnership in the future.
Thank you, Yodi. It has been great working with Prince George County, and we just love this connection. We just love the mission that we touch economic development and health and quality of life and the environment. I mean, it really is a project that we can all see benefit in, and really excited to see this project. And I hope everyone you'll see these new signs going up in the park. I think, we're going to improve the visibility of the parking lot. We're going to have more clear signage, just ways we hope that will help you use the park and feel more comfortable out at the park. So I think that wraps up my section today. I hope you will come join us. Don't hesitate to call me or email me if you have any specific questions, or if you just want to come take a walk down on the river. We love to have folks come by the Appomattox River Trail Center. We're in downtown Petersburg, or come out and visit the trail. We love to get people on the trail. So now I'm going to hand it over to Elise Neuschuler. Elise is our environmental stewardship coordinator, and she is going to tell you about our programs and how we are getting people out on the trail.
Thank you, Heather. Good morning, everyone. Next slide, please. My name is Elise Neuschuler. I am the Environmental Stewardship Coordinator for FOLAR. We host several volunteer events, types of volunteer events along the trail and at the Appomattox River Center, where FOLAR is based in Petersburg. And I'd like to tell you guys a bit about that. We can move on to the next slide. We're taking care of the river and trail from multiple angles. We have the stewardship and volunteer events, we have technical trainings, and we have talks for local groups and trail explorations where we take people along the trail just for learning purposes. I think we can move on to the next slide. Connecting people to this resource in a personal way is what brings a lot of meaning to the work. The buffer has a major impact on the health of the river, and we're always amazed with the progress we see with the help from our volunteers and localities. We care so much about the riparian buffer, that area along the riverside, because it has a major impact on the health of our communities and for the river itself. That buffer reduces sedimentation, it prevents erosion, it filters pollutants, and it provides habitat for our native plants and animals that otherwise might not find a place to exist in our spaces. Next slide. Repairing the buffer, empowering the community. I'm going to go ahead and read this one. FOLAR's programs bring the community to the river and the river to the community, and are designed to foster a widespread culture of stewardship where everyone has the opportunity to make a difference and where the enjoyment of the river and care for the river go hand in hand. And it's really true. We really have a lot of fun out there. We are removing invasive plants, we're removing trash. And you always leave at the end of one of these events, or I at least do, with a sense of real satisfaction and joy. Removal of invasive plants is very cathartic. And you get to have fun with others as well. Next slide. Within our invasive plant management plan, we have a GIS map of the areas along the corridor that are part of the trail system. This map is showing the populations of specific invasive plants. And with this map, we are also adding records of each of our environmental stewardship events, photo progress of the work that we're doing, and um, what plants exactly we were dealing with along the way. And we also have within that a training. Next slide. Invasive plant management training. We have had 101 total individual participants of this plant management training from locality staff, partners, and the public since the trainings began in November 2020. Here on the call with us, we have Adriana Aslop to talk about her experience on the training. Adriana, are you able to join us with audio?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for that introduction and allowing me to be a part of the panel today. We were actually in the invasive plant management, and as a part of our section with Chesterfield EE, environmental engineering, we handle a lot of inspections and maintenance work related to stormwater facilities and other drainage infrastructure within the county. Another key part of our roles here is that we do education and outreach within the community. So by learning a lot about those invasive species in our community, we are better equipped to educate within our community. We're better, to educate the residents and staff on why we should or shouldn't do things a certain way, or we also can educate them on how and why we manage certain species the way that we do. A colleague and I originally attended the FOLAR training back in April of 2025, and we came back with a lot of key insight from the course. And after we reviewed a lot of that with our team of what we learned, our then manager at the time, Jerry, he recognized that that training in its entirety would be incredibly beneficial for our entire section. And since we were in direct contact with a lot of these species, the knowledge would help us be even more effective in our work. So Jerry actually took the initiative and reached out to FOLAR, the representatives, and was able to fund a workshop right here at our county complex. And he really saw the value in investing in a partner for their expertise and their time. And it was clear that the decision has not only benefited us as an organization, but the training itself was very valuable to our entire team. So we learned a lot about the species that we come in contact with constantly. We learned a lot about treatments and why maybe sometimes we want to leave things versus how we do and manage those around our community. And then we're able to pass that information on. So it's been very beneficial, that mutual partnership.
Thank you, Adriana. That's awesome. During this session, we do learn about specific local invasive plants. We talk about types of treatment for those plants. We talk about general maintenance of public spaces, and we delve into a lot in the 3-ish hours. And we plan to continue to have those trainings at the Appomattox River Center in Petersburg from going forward in the summer so that the localities and anyone, the public, can join us to learn about these things. And we also have one coming up for registration. There's a small, an abridged version that will be coming out in FOLAR's next newsletter. If anyone in the area is interested in showing up for that, you're welcome to register. Okay, next slide. So our volunteer engagement, we have our native plant garden at the University Boulevard Trailhead in Petersburg and have an ongoing Chinese wisteria focused eradication initiative there, which has seen a lot of success. Even prior to my joining FOLAR, there was major efforts in this space to remove the Chinese wisteria, and as those who have removed invasive plants before, it is a labor of love and requires repeated treatments. So we get out there and we get to enjoy the products, the rewards of our labor. And it's always amazing to see how much we can do in these 3-hour stewardship Saturdays, or sometimes we have TLC Tuesdays, TLC Wednesdays. And we also go to all the 6 localities to do these sorts of invasive plant removal or trash pickups. So you can check it out on our website, what opportunities are coming up. We try to keep a few months in advance so that people can sign up for those Stewardship Saturdays or other opportunities. For instance, trail counts, which is a much more relaxed event where people sit on the trailhead and they count or tally how people are using the trail, and we use that anecdotal data to advocate for the trail. Um, and also, if there is an area along the trail where you see a need, please reach out to us, and we would love to hear about it and see if we can help with volunteer effort. And that's it for this slide. And I'll go ahead and pass it back to Jackson.
All right. Thank you so much, Elise and Heather, for sharing more about the trail and the stewardship programs. Um, and, just to summarize and get back to that initial point that conservation and recreation go hand in hand, I hope you were able to see that through those two presentations and the way that, the environmental stewardship, the historical resources, the economic development all go together. Next slide, please. So, as a reminder, it's health and wellness, connection, economic development, tourism. These are all things that the Appomattox River Trail brings to our communities, and it's why we need your support. And so on the next slide, I have some information. This is what we share with all of our partners and kind of out in the community. But we need you, right? So we have many ways to give and support. First of all, we get support from our localities, from all 6 localities along the river. They help support FOLAR. That is vital to completing this work. So if you're in the room, we're going to be coming around and giving presentations to your boards and councils and updating. We also have a lot of grant support, so from the Virginia Department of Forestry, the Cameron Foundation, John Randolph Foundation. So thank you to our existing supporters, our current supporters in the foundation sector. But we have many ways to get involved. So the first really is to become a member. It's $35. You can join FOLAR today, and you get the newsletter. You can get membership discounts, merch discounts. You're invited to events. So membership is really kind of that initial step into supporting FOLAR and becoming a part of the community. We also have sponsorships for area businesses. So if you're a large corporation or business in the area, we have a full suite of packages to join and support and get your employees involved out on the river. I'm going to put a link in the chat to our corporate sponsorships page. We're very excited this year to be launching an Adopt a Trail program. So this is our top level of corporate sponsorship. It gets your name on the trail and your employees out there caring for it, right? And so we can lead special events, stewardship events like those that Elise described. And then you're also a sponsor, listed as a sponsor at our events like the Paddle Battle and Community Service Awards. So if you're an area business or you know of an area business who might want to support, please share that link with them. We also have small business packages. So small businesses have been big supporters of FOLAR. And so we make it accessible for everyone to jump in and get involved. We also have our philanthropic side with major gifts and planned giving. So there are many, many ways to leave a legacy with FOLAR. I'm putting a news link in the chat here. Whether it's, a direct gift or planned giving like an estate or insurance policies, things like that. There are many ways that people give to leave a legacy. And so I encourage you to check that out if you, or again, someone you know, is looking for a way to give back to the community and ensure the protection of the Appomattox River. We also have volunteering. So as Elise mentioned and Emily put in the chat already, many, many ways to get involved, whether it's in the building or out on the trail. For people of all abilities and mobility and expertise, we've got something for you. So definitely get involved there. And we'll go to the next slide. Okay. I did want to take a moment to announce some of our other events and programs that are coming up. I'm happy to announce that FOLAR is presenting this year's Banff Film Festival World Tour in Chesterfield. That's March 12th through the 14th. And this is a series of outdoor adventure films that you can come and watch. They're really spectacular. And you can buy your tickets here. Emily, if you could find a link to Banff. Folks can purchase tickets online. I believe Saturday's already sold out, which is exciting. It's 1,000 seats per night, so lots of participation. It's on Hopkins Road at Falling Creek Elementary School, so or middle school. So take a look at Banff and purchase your tickets today. The Prince George 5K Run Walk is coming up on April 11th. And so that's in partnership with Prince George. I forgot to mention that Banff is also in partnership with Chesterfield Parks and Recreation. So at the 5K on April 11th, we'll also have our groundbreaking for the Appomattox River Regional Park because that's where it takes place. We have our Community Service Awards coming up on May 21st, so look for an invite in your mailbox for the Community Service Awards. Take a look at the volunteering page for our Stewardship Saturdays throughout the spring. Paddle Battle date is set for September 26th, and I'm not announcing a rain date yet, but yes, we have a rain date in mind for this year in case we get rained out. I know everyone was pretty disappointed with the rains and the lightning this year. And then we have our Environmental Stewardship Scholarship in partnership with the John Randolph Foundation and the Lou Family Fidelity Charitable Fund. Next slide. Okay. There are many ways to get in touch with FOLAR. You can reach out to our email address, contact us at folar-va.org. We also are on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I didn't talk enough about 235 North Market Street. So if you don't know yet, FOLAR has moved into a beautiful space that we're calling the Appomattox River Center. It's on Market Street in Petersburg, just up the block from the library and Market Street Coffee and Altar Ice Cream, which is a new place that we're pretty happy about around the corner. And so please stop by or get in touch and schedule a time to come by. It's a beautiful space. We have partners in there all the time in the banquet hall and in our boardroom. And so it's just been a really nice shift for FOLAR over the past couple of years to be able to utilize the space to connect with the community. Yeah, okay. I think Saturday is sold out. Still check it out. Hopefully, that'd be great if the other nights were sold out too. But take a look. And so with that, we have about 6 minutes left. If there are any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll try to answer them. So we'll give you a minute here if you have a question or two that you'd like to put in the chat. Right. No questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for attending today. We really appreciate your time and your support of FOLAR and of the Appomattox River Trail. If you have any questions or anything comes up for you or you want to get involved, again, please reach out to us at contact us at folar-va.org. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.